Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for joining us on the first day of your weekend. It's now time for our daily English News Edition, weekdays at 6 p.m. Prime Minister Edi Rama and the Interior Minister Samir Tahiri were in Durrës today, greeting the new members of the Socialist Party. The two leaders spoke about the crime in the country, saying that crime is a reality that every country faces. The Prime Minister used Germany as an example. "Of course crimes happen," he said. "Do you know a single country in which there is no crime? Only a few weeks ago, more than 60 girls were raped in the safest country in Europe. What I mean is, crimes happen, and it's shameful to blame the state police for every crime. People are smart, and they can see the difference," said Prime Minister Rama. The Interior Minister addressed the gathering as well, repeating his criticism of the justice system. "I wonder how it is possible that those who commit murders or those who steal are arrested by the police, but then set free by the justice system," said Minister Tahiri. He exhorted the judges and the prosecutors to do their jobs. Prime Minister Rama also commented on the free health care, which was one of the promises of the government. He said that free health care is not just a word and that it takes time to accomplish. He invited the citizens to become members of the Socialist Party, saying that the country is heading down the right path with the reforms of the government. He also mentioned the Standard & Poor's report, which moved Albania's economy up from a B to a B+ ranking. The Democratic chairman Lulzim Basha has reacted to the statements of the Prime Minister in Durrës, where he declared that the powerful countries like Germany also have crime. Basha stated that crime in Albania is unique and incomparable with any other country. He said, "Mentioning the events in Germany to justify the horrible crimes in Albania is an extreme perversion. The crime in our country is unique and incomparable because the Prime Minister and the Minister of Interior are connected to the criminal gangs," said Mr. Basha. He emphasized that the Democratic Party does not blame the police officers who exercise integrity in their duties, and they make no pretense that the society has no conflicts and tensions. He went on, "What we want is to stop the main source of the murders, the robberies, and the insecurity, which is the connection of the government with crime. There is no worse disgrace for a country than when the Prime Minister and the Minister of Interior rule together with the criminal gangs," said the Democratic chairman. Gas and oil experts are giving warning that the gas tanks that are being used in Albania are not up to quality standards and that they are being smuggled into the country. The experts appeal for the intervention of the state to locate and dispose of these gas cylinders, which are very dangerous, as the country has recently seen. They recommend the establishment of special trade centers for gas and gas-related items, which would check and certify the gas cylinders that are sold. They also believe that a good deal of improvement is needed in the inspectorate for this sector. The people are concerned after the recent gas explosions in Albania, in which around 30 people were injured and 1 child was killed. The Democratic Party has sent a letter to the Assembly Speaker Ilir Meta asking him to extend the inquiry commission for investigating the tax server. The commission was operating on a 3-month deadline, which ended on the 22nd of January. The Democrats say that the commission was unable to finish all of the points of investigation during that time period, and they are requesting that the activities of the commission be extended. The letter informs the Speaker that the majority has rejected the request for extension, and it warns that the Democratic Party will make sure the topic is addressed in Thursday's plenary session. According to them, they will not allow any other discussion to take place until an extension for the commission has been consensually adopted. The Socialist MP Ben Blushi commented today on the elections within the Socialist Party, saying that Edi Rama is one of the candidates and he does not have the power to decide whether there will be elections. He said that only the Socialist Party Assembly can decide on inter-party elections. He rebuked the words of some of his fellow MPs who have supported the idea of renewing Rama's mandate without elections. Mr. Blushi said, The Congress of the party is going to gather, which means that there ought to be elections. The elections are not appointed by the candidates, and in this case, Edi Rama is one of the candidates, and according to the law, he has no right to decide whether there should be elections or not, who the candidates will be, when the elections will be held, how they will be held, or who will count the votes. Edi Rama does not have these rights. He is only a candidate in this race, and according to the Socialist Party statute in power, I am right concerning the elections. All those who read and respect the statute must agree. Whoever says that there should be no elections is wrong according to the statute. Edi Rama has a problem with paranoia, and he has a problem with competition. I am thinking that he is afraid to enter the race, otherwise he would not be opposing it. At any rate, this is an obligation and not a choice, said Mr. Blushi. The Secretary General of the Democratic Party, Arben Ristani, has commented today on the justice reform. He says that the reform is now on the right path now that the parties have agreed on the Venice recommendations. According to him, the people need to be saved once and for all from bad governance, and heading to early elections is the only solution. He said, all the parties agreed on the Venice recommendations for the justice reform. The Venice opinion was exactly what the Democratic Party expected it to be. The only solution to save the people from Rama and Meta is to convince the Albanian citizens that the country needs to go to early elections. We must convince them to set up a technical government that will prepare the country for free and honest elections. The Democratic Secretary General made his statements from the town of Mat, where he was participating in a ceremony for the 25th anniversary of the party. At a time when the debate over the electoral reform has been going for several days, 45 small parties have come forward asking for changes to the current electoral system. They have submitted a document containing 6 proposals. First, the small parties request that what they are calling a majority-corrected system in order to have a true representation of the people's vote. Secondly, they ask that the electoral process be administered by commissioners who are not affiliated with political parties. Third, they want the use of new technology in the voting process, which will avoid the possibility of abuse and count the votes in real time. Fourth, they want campaigns to be funded by the state, which will exclude the use of suspicious funds and allow financial transparency. Fifth, they ask for equal media coverage for all parties. And sixth, all Albanian votes should count regardless of where they live. This draft of 6 proposals will be submitted to the Commission for Electoral Reform and to the international partners. A 51-year-old businessman was arrested in Fier today after trying to punch a prosecutor. He was in court for a property dispute over a contested piece of land on which he built a bar. He says that he bought the property from the state, but another party claiming to be the true owner has sued him for possession of the land. Now he is arrested on charges of attempted violence against a prosecutor. His lawyer is arguing that the prosecution has breached the court procedure and that they have no right to make an arrest in this case. To make matters more clouded, the prosecutor has been sued by the family of the arrested man for allegedly concealing evidence in the property case. That concludes our edition for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you have a fantastic weekend, and please join us again on Monday for more news in English. Have a great night.